All right, everyone. In this lesson, we're going to learn about different types of switches that we commonly use in industrial control circuits. By the end of this session, you will clearly understand each switch, how it looks, and how it functions inside a real control panel. Let's begin.
Here you can see the names of the switches along with their physical appearance. We have green push button, red push button, emergency stop switch, 2-position selector switch, 3-position selector switch. You will also notice two types of symbols, IEC and JIC. IEC stands for International Electrotechnical Commission, and JIC stands for Joint Industrial Council. These are simply two standard symbol systems used in industrial drawings. Different factories or countries may choose one or the other, but if you understand one system, working with the other becomes quite easy. Green push button, NO, normally open. The green push button is a normally open type switch. This means that in its default state, the contacts are open and no current flows. When you press the button with your finger, the contact closes and current is allowed to pass. As soon as you release the button, it springs back to the open state. So it only remains closed while you are actively pressing it. The IEC and JIC symbols for this button both represent a normally open momentary contact. Red push button, NC, normally closed. The red push button is normally closed. That means, by default, the circuit is complete and current is flowing. When you press it, the contact opens and the current stops. Once you remove your finger, it returns to its normally closed state again. This is also a momentary type switch. Press to break the circuit, release to restore it. Emergency stop switch, NC with locking mechanism. The emergency stop switch is a special NC switch. It is used during dangerous or unexpected conditions when a machine or process must be stopped immediately. When you press the emergency switch, the contact opens and stays locked in the open position. Even if you remove your hand, it will not return automatically. To reset it, you need to rotate the switch to release the lock. Only then does it return to its normally closed state. This switch is found in every industrial panel because it is essential for safety. Two-position selector switch. The two-position selector switch has, you guessed it, two positions. In one position, it energizes one output, and in the other position, it energizes a different output. For example, position 1, a lamp turns on. Position 2, the lamp turns off, and maybe a motor turns on instead. This switch stays in whichever position you turn it to, unlike the momentary push buttons. The IEC and JIC symbols show the two fixed positions of the selector. Three-position selector switch. The three-position selector switch works the same way as the two-position switch, but gives you an extra state. It has three fixed positions, often used for auto, off, and manual. For example, position 1, manual mode. Position 2, off. Position 3, auto mode. Depending on the position, the switch sends current to the corresponding output. In the industry, this switch is extremely common because it allows operators to move between manual control, automatic control, and a safe off state. Summary. These are the most widely used switches in industrial control circuits. Green push button, NO, red push button, NC, emergency stop switch, 2-position selector, 3-position selector. Their IEC and JIC symbols help us represent them clearly in electrical drawings. That's all for this lesson. Now you know how these switches work, how they appear on diagrams, and where they're used in real applications.